Do you have credit card debts that you find crippling and you just cannot get on top of them? Watch this video and we're going to show you some very clear steps to get on top of your debts as quickly as possible. So credit card debt can be awful. It can really take over people's lives. You have that feeling of you're paying off money every month, but you're paying off the minimum amount, or you're just paying off a little bit of interest, and you're not actually reducing the debt. This can go on, and you end up with bigger and bigger debts. It causes people huge emotional strain and stress. We're going to look at some ways of you reducing the debt more quickly and getting on top of your finances again, because the credit card debt won't go away. We just have to get on top of it. I'm not a financial advisor, so bear that in mind. I'm not qualified to give you financial advice. All I'm trying to do here is point you in the right direction to find your own solutions and hopefully work your way out of debt sooner rather than later. Once you do this, and once you start to make positive movements to actually take yourself out of debt, the weight off your shoulders will be absolutely immense, and hopefully you'll get to the point where you can actually see a debt-free life in future. Okay, so the first thing to try and do is to reduce your debt. So the existing debt, without putting anything on it. With credit cards, the sort of traditional way to do that, and probably the best way still to do it, is to look to move it to a 0% credit card. And you look for a 0% balance transfer, and you want to try and find one that doesn't have any fees, because sometimes you'll find that these deals are 0% balance transfer, but they're going to charge you 3% to transfer it over. So to actually make the transfer, they charge you on that, but then they're not charging you interest on the amount of the debt for a certain period of time. But there are deals out there for if you qualify for them, where you can actually make the transfer without incurring any additional debt on top of it. Okay, obviously if you can save the transfer fee, and then you've got a debt-free, an interest-free period as well, absolutely fantastic. So look for those. Well, a good website to go to for those is the Money Saving Expert website. They have a credit card eligibility calculator on there. So you put in your details of your debts, and it will come up with deals that it thinks you may be eligible for. And you can filter that, you can filter it down to like 0% balance transfer deals and things like that. But it's a great site, great place to start to do your initial research. Okay, so we've looked at reducing your debt, and you might be able to do that by moving to a lower interest rate somewhere else. If you can do that, that's the best thing you can possibly do. Now, the second thing to do is to stop spending on that credit card, or on any credit card. So try not to do any new spending on any credit cards. I know that can be really difficult, but by spending money on a credit card, you're only keeping this issue going for longer. So just be very aware of that, and do anything you can to avoid spending more money on credit cards. The next thing to do is to look at everything you currently spend and how they can be reduced. The amount of people that pay like £100 a month for Sky TV or something, if you haven't spoken to them for quite a long time, Sky or Virgin or whoever it may be, just call them and say to them, you usually have to threaten to cancel, but if you're outside of your contracted period, normally you have 12 or 18 months contracted deal, if you're outside of that, you just tell them that you need to dramatically reduce your outgoings every month because you've got debt issues and you simply cannot afford to pay that much for your TV and broadband and whatever it may be. And you'll be amazed how much they will work with you. You have to be very clear that you want to cancel because of that and for no other reason. So you're happy with the service, but you have to cancel because you cannot afford it. Okay? They will always come back with a better offer for you. Sometimes it's a good time to do a little review of your package as well, because it may be that you've got some channels that you don't watch, or you don't watch very often. I recently did a deal with Sky where I was cancelling some channels because I just use Netflix a lot, And Sky said, oh, well, actually, if you have Netflix through us, it costs you £9 a month instead of 12, and you can still cancel it whenever you want, and it's the same account, blah, blah, blah. So I just did that, saved me £3 a month. I mean, £3, what's £3? But why not? That phone call, by the way, to Sky, I think saved me £18 a month, and all I lost was access to box sets, which I didn't use on Sky anyway. And it was literally maybe a 5-minute phone call. You call, you say you want to cancel, you get through to their retention team, and that's that. Utilities, right? Use websites like Uswitch. Get onto Uswitch, see what else is out there. By all means use other websites, but Uswitch is just a decent comparison site, so you can quickly see how much money you could save by switching to someone else. It's quite a simple process, so don't be afraid to look at things like that. Your mobile phone deal. Do you need the new iPhone desperately? I've recently looked at my wife's phone deal. It came up. They called and said you can pay the same amount a month and we'll send you the latest iPhone. She's actually really happy. She's got the iPhone XR. She's really happy with that still. It still works perfectly well. The deal on the new iPhone would have been £40 a month. And instead we've got a SIM only deal with absolutely, crazy limits on everything for £12 a month. So we've immediately reduced our expenditure by £28 just on that. We don't really need to, it's just we don't waste money, if that makes sense. So I don't have credit card debts and things like that. We're in an okay financial position, but we are quite savvy with money. We don't like to spend money on things we don't necessarily need, or if she had the latest iPhone, it would mean nothing to her. She's the phone is a phone to her. So think about things like that. So your utilities, which includes like your TV and your broadband, and if you've got a landline, which you've got usually if you've got broadband, your mobile phone, those kind of outgoings. How can you reduce those? And then look at your food shop. This is one where people squander crazy amounts of money every week by buying multiple items of the same things. So do a food inventory. This sounds nuts, but get everything out of your cupboards and write it down. Look how many bags of pasta you've got, how many bags of rice, how many cans of beans, all these kinds of things. And then do a meal plan for the following week, and do a meal plan every week. And in your meal plan, as you're doing your meal plan, do your shopping list. Look at the food you've got and the things you need to buy, and do a meal plan. Monday's this, Tuesday's this, Wednesday's this. And when you go shopping with your list, just try to buy items on the list, and try not to get all the impulse buys, or, well, I'll buy another couple of those because they're on offer or something. Honestly, the amount of money you can save by shopping sort of more efficiently, if you like, just buying the things that you need, rather than going in with no idea and just buying things and you end up throwing some of it away because it's gone off or you haven't used it. So that's another great idea. Also, look at the moment, especially because we're at the start of 2021 here in the UK. We've got restrictions and things, so we can't do a great deal. If you spend money normally on eating out and going to the pub and things like that, think about how much you normally spend. Look at bank statements even. Try and work out how much you usually spend and put that to one side. At the moment, if you've spoken to your utilities providers and maybe switched some deals, you've switched over to a different credit card deal, you've made savings on your food spend, and then you've looked at how much you normally spend on going out, socialising, going to the cinema, any of that kind of stuff, you could have come up with £100, £200 a month here, like really quite realistically. Whatever that sum is, just pay it off the credit card, pay it off the debt, okay? So I'm not, with all this, I'm not saying completely go without and live like a hermit, but try and live to your means a bit more, and with the money you've saved from essentially doing the same thing, so changing the credit card deal, looking at your mobile phone deal, knocking a couple of channels off Sky, or literally just ringing Sky or Virgin and saying you want to leave. Sometimes all you need to do to save quite a lot of money. Looking at your gas and electric and possibly switching that to a different provider. Those bits, you haven't really done anything. You've probably put a couple of hours work into it, and you could be saving, say, £50, £100 a month just on those. And then if you look at the food bit as well, it's a bit more effort and you have to be a little bit more controlled, but you can save a lot of money there. And if you're using that to go straight off your credit card debt, which hopefully by now doesn't have any interest on it, or at least has a lower rate of interest, you're starting to bring that down. And don't forget as well, we have to do everything to avoid spending any more on credit cards. Okay, so what you've got is that debt starts there. You've maybe moved it to a cheaper interest rate or a zero interest rate, so it's moved down to there. Then you've made some savings through getting in touch with your utilities providers, and you brought it down to there. You made some changes with your food spending, and you brought it down to there. And now you've got a period of time where you've got that interest-free debt on a new credit card, hopefully interest-free or lower interest, and try and use that period of time to get rid of it. I did a video about side hustles, which I'll put a link to up there, but have a look at that because there may be something you could do in your spare time to earn a bit more money. Speak to your employers if you're in an employed position. If you're good at your job and very good at your job, ask for a pay rise. Tell them that you're struggling financially, you like what you do, you're good at what you do, but you're struggling and you need to earn a bit more money. Ask them for a pay rise. The worst they can do is say no. Ask them if there are any promotion opportunities. It might get you on the radar for when something comes along, even if there's nothing at the moment. Consider some sort of casual work, or as I say, the side hustles. Anything you can do to earn a bit of extra money and cut your expenses. You need to channel everything towards that debt, because your absolute focus needs to be on reducing that debt as quickly as possible, because all that debt does for you is generates more debt. Okay, so that's about it for this video, guys. I hope you found that useful. I don't think there's anything really groundbreaking in there, but sometimes it's good just to hear step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and helps you to just put things into focus a little bit, and help you realise how easy it can be to spend less money, which gives you more free money to then pay off that debt and get it cleared. So I hope you like that one, guys. As always, please give us a thumbs up and please click subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you.